EMSradio.com.
EMS information for the next generation.
The EMS Garage is a production of EMSradio.com. You can find us on Facebook, just search EMS Garage. You can find us on Twitter at EMS Garage. Email us, emsgarage@gmail.com, or call us, 303-720-6001.
The EMS Garage.
Checking out right now. Okay, I got DG on the phone there. Want to know if you can handle that call as well. Just confirming you are checking the patient. Salesman 22 is on scene.
Hello everybody and welcome to the EMS Garage at EMS Today 2012 in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm joined by some guests. So Chris, tell us about who you are, where you're from, what your role is in Ferno.
Yeah, well thank you Chris. Chris Cleves, I'm the director of the U.S. division, sales, customer service, as well as all of our field sales organization. Our level of excitement and the products that we're bringing to the market is we're the entire, kind of goes through the entire organization right now because we have recently introduced to the marketplace a powered Easy Glide called the Easy Glide PowerTraxx, which you'll be showing everyone soon. And then we have also some informatics in the back of an ambulance with Ace Tech. So very exciting times at Ferno.
And then you're joined by your compadre, Mr.
Colleague.
Co-host.
Yeah,
co-host.
He's my co-host.
Yeah. Mr. Mike Campione, tell us who you are and what you do at Ferno.
I've been with Ferno, I think, for almost 4 years now as a regional sales specialist out of the Chicago region, as Chris mentioned. So we do hands-on out there with the customers, trying to fit solutions to the problems that we have out there. So whether it be a power cot, manual cot, stair chair, backboard, scoop stretchers, we try to be the total safety solution. So the full gamut of things. So I'm out there in the field and interfacing with customers.
So talk to us about the total safety solution and what that really means to
Sure.
Ferno, and kind of take us down that path of where you guys are going as a company with that.
Well, we created those three words in a sense because we felt that Ferno's been in business since 1955. And we really felt as though we were not just a manufacturer of cots. We offered so much more to our customers. Patient transport, patient transfer, very, very important to what we do. And as our reps were going out into the field, we felt like we were providing more solutions each and every day, from cots that were some what we call our classic line, which is still out in the marketplace, to our premium line, to what we now call our intelligent line, which is part of the PowerTraxx, Easy Glide PowerTraxx. And we're the only company that could do that.
Right.
You can come to us and we'll meet all of your needs.
Nice.
Safety is very important to us. We realize it's very important to the marketplace as well. We brought a comprehensive portfolio of products to this market with our new line, our classic line, our premium line. We're the only one that can do that. So we felt that was very powerful and that we truly were providing total safety solutions to the marketplace. So we drove that through our sales organization, and Mike is a living example of how he's been able to successfully communicate this to the customers, and it's yielded great results.
And that's really what it's all about. There's no one cookie cutter solution for every service out there. If there was, there'd be one product in this booth, or one product here. So, as a total solution, we really have to examine how people are going about their business, what struggles they have, what are they doing well, how can we do it a little bit better, and try and find some things that will help them do that, keep them safer out in the field, help them keep their patients safer, save their backs, all of those sorts of things. And it's really the full product line that we have in a lot of different areas allows us to do that. So that's really what it's all about.
And you guys don't, I think everybody thinks of Ferno as just making cots or stair chairs, but really you guys have, like right behind us here, the scoop stretcher, backboards, you have C-collars, you have you have
bags,
everything.
monitor mounts,
I'm very impressed at all of the solutions that you guys provide.
And we started getting into the monitor mounts. We don't make defibrillators, but we did that because of the safety of the medics and the patients in the back of the ambulance.
Yep, we have your monitor mounts in our ambulances.
Yeah,
yep,
so we
exactly.
do a lot more than just cots. However, that's what our soul is.
Right.
You know, that's what we were founded on. So that's our passion. That's what drives us. However, we do feel like we have the comprehensive portfolio for all customers to be able to come into Ferno, get a catalog, talk to our customer service team and or our sales associates, and be able to really find a solution that best fits their needs.
Nice. Okay, so let's start talking about power, and let's talk about the PowerTraxx. And I think you have a lovely assistant around here somewhere that's going to take Mr. Koenig up and down the stairs.
Yeah.
So, David, assistant. I think you should. David's going to actually do this, and while he's doing that, I want you guys to walk us through what they're doing on the stairs there, and why this power stair chair is different in the PowerTraxx.
Sure.
Really.
Well, what we did, we took the Easy Glide stair chair that we've had out in the market for about 6 years, and it's performed very well for us. A lot of ambulances have it as standard equipment, and what we did essentially is took the track portion of it and powered it. So up and down, touch of a button, very, very easy. And they're demonstrating, you lean back, we use a power component to go up the stairs.
There goes Dave, there he goes.
Just like that.
Wow.
So with our standard Easy Glide, it was very easy to go down.
Right.
And you'd say, how could you make an Easy Glide easier? And the real value now is going up. Touch of a button up, we're not straining our back, we're letting the chair do the work for us. So
are you guys doing any lifting? No lifting. Wow.
No, it's really controlling the chair more than lifting. Our tendency is going to be, we want to lift, you don't want to lift. You actually want to push down and control the chair a little bit.
And it is able to up and down 500 pounds.
Wow.
So it has a capacity of 500 pounds, which is pretty remarkable.
Good job, David Koenig.
Yay! Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Dave.
So what are the customers saying? What are you finding from What are you finding from your customers and their base?
Well, I would say that initially their responses have been somewhat overwhelming, positive that way, because they have been asking for this. This isn't something we woke up one day and said, hey, let's start doing something else. We really have listened to the voice of the customer. They've talked to us about this. Especially a lot of transports, but also with the number of females that are in this marketplace. Right. And they're unable to take patients up, evacuate them out, transport them up from a hospital, nursing home, dialysis center. And what we've been hearing is this is a chair for all.
Right. Is
whether it's male, female, short, tall, what have you, doesn't matter the strength of an individual. The chair actually works for you and makes it easy to operate. It's very simplistic, and you can actually take your current Easy Glide.
I was just going to ask, yeah.
And retrofit it to power. You don't have to buy a new Easy Glide.
Really?
You can take your current Easy Glide and retrofit the power onto it.
Nice.
And
now, does that model have the built-in IV pole?
It does.
It does.
It has an IV pole, which is on the right-hand side.
Nice.
Yep.
Very nice.
Carrying bags in your teeth.
And a little carry bag, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then I heard that you're also coming out with an O2 component to hold the O2 bottle, or no?
We do. We do have we have an O2 holder, but we also are very close, and it is available to have a backrest that serves also as a strap, a head strap.
Nice.
On this.
Okay.
So it's as you extend the poles all the way up, the handles all the way up. So we've created, with one of our group companies, we've created kind of a backrest. And it's very simple to use, very cost effective for someone to be able to add that as an accessory to the stair chair.
And it makes training easier too. So if you're already using an Easy Glide, it's still the same chair. We're adding the power component to it, which will be different, but everything's in the same spot, that'll make training or the transition very easy as well.
Very nice. A couple last questions. The battery, somebody was telling me today, was that you telling me about the battery sitting on the shelf for volunteers?
Yeah, very impressive what they've done with the battery system. But the battery will actually, I'll get to your question here. The battery will actually last 300 stairs at 300 pounds.
Perfect.
So, you're out there in the field, you're going up, New York, you're going up to, the 10th floor, taking somebody back from dialysis, you're going to be able to do that. Also, if you do charge it and take it off of a charger, it will not lose charge over time, and you can actually let it sit for up to 2 years is what they've tested, and won't lose charge. So if you're a volunteer service, if maybe it's something that you'd use once a week, you don't have to monitor batteries constantly. Maybe you're a hospital that uses it for an evacuation, that maybe it hangs on the wall. You don't have to every week switch your batteries. You can leave that battery on the chair and it'll be ready when you are. So very impressive with the battery system.
And that's a can I buy, and I can go buy those batteries anywhere, or are they specially
It's a
made?
Milwaukee, well, it's a Milwaukee 28 volt.
Okay,
So,
very cool.
I really, it's so early. I find it to be something that you're probably not going to have to go out and have a lot of excess of, because they last so long, number one. As Mike stated, 300 stairs, we actually stopped testing at 30 flights, and it still had charge left on it with a 300-pound person. So we're so confident in its reliability and its, how long it's going to last, regardless of the weight of someone.
Nice.
And so we really, that's why we're providing two and not anymore. We really firmly believe that's all you're going to need.
Wow, that's great. So, and if you lose charge, say something happens catastrophically, you can still use this in a manual mode. It's not like, everything's locked up. You can still use it in the manual mode without the actual power if you need it.
Going down.
Going down,
and going down. And we feel like we have a product now that is revolutionizing taking patients upstairs and
awesome.
down, because you power up and you power down.
Okay. I love that. So let's move on to other pieces of the Ferno line. I think they're actually using it over here. So let's go to this one next, and then we'll come back to the Mondial. So let's talk about the power cot, and how the PowerFlexx has really become a leader in the ability to use power. And I've heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, 700 pounds unassisted?
700 pounds unassisted and 1,100 assisted.
Wow.
We've actually have video of someone that weighed about 1,200 pounds on it, and the cot performed well.
Wow.
It's a very durable, robust system. We know that it's so widely accepted from so many customers in the United States and throughout the world.
Right.
Because of the ability to lift heavier patients. It's a true bariatric solution, but it will also serve as a powered cot for those non-bariatric situations that you're involved in. We've recently, as part of our initiative to always make sure that we're providing the best products to the market, we have recently changed the actuator on the PowerFlexx.
It's faster. I use this. Is this a new actuator today?
This is the new actuator. And
we have an older one, and this one, I was like, holy cow, that thing's up. It's fast.
It's been out for about 6 months. It's faster. It has proven to be more reliable. We've had 0 failures with our new actuator.
Wow.
So it's a little bit faster, but the other nice thing about it, it's very quiet. So it's not a noisy, jerky type of actuator. So it's performed extremely well, and we're excited about it.
And I think that was the other thing I was impressed by, is how smooth it is. It's extremely smooth. So talk to me a little bit about some of the functionality. As Jim, Jim, are you going to demonstrate that for us while we talk about it? Okay, cool. So Mike, talk us through the all the way from where it's at today to going back in, and then talk about the integrated charging system, kind of like what we did before. So get us into there, and then we'll talk about through some of the systems.
Well, one of the things that we do that's a little bit unique with all of our products is the drop frame. I mean, the whole mentality of you look at all of these powered solutions that we have. The mentality is work smarter, not harder. We want to save our backs. We want to extend careers out there, keep the patient safe, but we have to make sure we're safe as well. So this is part of that circle of care. So what we have with the drop frame here is the ability to move the cot to us instead of moving ourselves to the cot.
Instead of the old drop.
Or bending at the waist.
I do like that. Right.
So many times you get down in the area, you're down, but you can't put it down because you got that
Yep, that's
exactly.
a good point. Wow.
So
Nice.
you don't lose
That's really
functionality
cool.
here, but again, you can also position it to what's comfortable for you. So if you're a little bit shorter and you need to go up a curb, we drop that down. Instead of curling that way, we can lift with our legs, keep our back straight, so we're more ergonomic. We're going to be safer that way too. The cot itself is also more stable. Chris mentioned the bariatric solutions. We know that you're going to a power cot for a reason. People are not getting smaller. People are getting bigger.
Right.
As a medic, you're asked to do more and more every day. And if you're not a bodybuilder, it's going to wear on you. So, what we wanted to do because of that is from the ground up, even before we start to talk about power, is make sure that it's stable. So, front to back, we've extended the wheelbase a little bit. So, if your patient sits on the front of the cot or the side, you're going to be stable over the wheels. If you're going
that's what I
across.
was impressed with. You did that demo, and you were sitting on the end, literally, and I thought this thing's going to go.
Yeah,
amazing.
exactly.
And then he
That
sat
was
on the edge.
amazing.
Yeah.
That
So-
blew me away.
This shows you the front to back stability. And 9 times out of 10,
Wow.
if your patient sits on the, they're going to sit there or they're going to sit right on the side.
Holy
so
cow.
If you're going across gravel, grass, anything like that, you're going to be stable over the wheels. Also, side to side is very important too. So if you have a patient that's sitting on the side, like Jim is there, or you're transferring a patient, as you pull that patient over for a second, that patient's going to be right on the very, very extreme edge of that cot.
Right.
So we need to be stable side to side so that that cot doesn't shoot out from you. So you can be
Impressive.
confident when you're using this that you're not going to have to worry about the cot. You can concentrate on patient care, which is ultimately the goal here.
Impressive.
As far as a battery system, and I'll get to the ICS as well, but it's a 24-volt lead-acid battery. The great thing about it is that it operates well in extreme temperatures.
Okay.
Similar chemistry to a car battery. So if you think about going out in the morning and starting your car on a cold day, it still operates. What's also nice about it is that it doesn't have any memory with it. So as you charge and recharge it, it's not going to decrease over the lifespan of the cot.
How cold can you get?
I think we deep froze it, didn't we?
I believe it is.
I think they put it in a deep freeze overnight.
Greater than negative 40 degrees.
Yeah. And they pulled it right
I was
out.
wondering, because I worked up in Maine.
Greater
Okay.
than that.
I was
Yeah.
in Maine, and it didn't get above zero. I mean, it hit minus 30, which is not unusual. And I have friends up in Fairbanks where it gets, minus 40 is pretty much their winter.
Sure.
Yeah,
And we have, personally, I cover North and South Dakota, and I can tell you, you haven't felt cold, until you felt negative 40 cold with the wind whipping at you.
Yeah.
And we have many units up there. They perform great. Where it's winter 9 months out of the year, it has to perform. Same thing on the opposite end of the spectrum, in maybe a Daytona or a Miami.
We've done extreme testing both ways, both for heat and cold.
Yeah, and it's very important because the last thing you want is pull your cot out and it freeze on you.
How many ups and downs can I do on a single charge?
It's about 80 cycles, so
Wow.
4 cycles a run, so about 20 runs. That varies with patient weight, though. If you get 5 bariatric calls in a row or 10 bariatric calls, that's a bad day.
Sure.
But it's going to take a little bit more battery for you.
I think the performance of the PowerFlexx has really been amazing.
Nice.
It has performed extremely well, and with the how robust, the weight capacity, the new actuator, the integrated charging system, which I know Mike's going to talk about in just a moment, it's the best product on the market.
Nice.
And we're not just saying that because we are Ferno. We truly believe it.
Nice.
We've made so many improvements, and we continue to improve each and every one of our products to meet the needs and expectations of our customers. And this has been just a tremendous product for us over the last couple of years.
When we're loading a power cot, our key to success is using 2 people and splitting that weight between the 2 operators. So
I think if you missed it, and you may have missed it at home, but they have these 2 little arms that pop out, and it's really easy then to have 2 people help you load that cot. And the other piece of it is the buttons on the end are big, and they're very easy to use, especially if you have a glove on, or in the winter you have a gloved hand, more specifically. Green to the ground, blue to the sky.
Exactly. And one of the other things too, and when they pull it out here, I'll have them show you. The front end control panel, if you look at it in terms of what we've done with manual cots, we have 2 grab bars. With this, we have 1. And that's because we have the ability to actually rotate the entire foot end around. So if you have 2 operators that maybe are a little bit shorter, you can drop it down. If you have a heavy patient, you want to get a little bit more leverage, you can drop it down. Or based on the environment that you're in. If the front end is pitched down and your load height is a little bit higher than what it is on flat ground, or the opposite. If the vehicle is backed up to a hospital ramp and your load height is very, very low, you can change the handle. Again, moving the cot to us instead of us moving ourselves around the cot.
Nice.
Work smarter, not harder. But that's just 2 little tabs here in the front. So we can really configure the cot between the front end and the back end that we talked about earlier. We can really maneuver the cot in a variety of different positions to make sure that we're safe, and that's the most important thing.
And did you mention that the ICS can be retrofitted in the ambulance?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So very, very easy. And again, the integrated charging system is what we're talking about with the ICS. And you know, when you're going from a manual cot to a power cot, again, there's that battery that you worry about. Okay, what are we going to keep charged? We have batteries on our monitors. You're going to have a battery on your stair chair, pulse oxes. Maybe your ventilator has a battery. You have cell phones, computers, all these things. So we make it very easy in the transition where you click your cot into the fastener, contacts line up, you're charging inside the vehicle either from an inverter or shoreline. So it takes that daily process of swapping batteries, monitoring batteries, it takes it out of the equation so you can concentrate again on patient care and not what a battery's doing. It also eliminates you getting on scene and having a dead battery because you're charging either en route or as you come out of the station, if you're charging via shoreline, you have a fully charged cot. And again, with no memory issue, your battery is going to stay fully charged almost all the time, which is great because there's no cookie cutter solution.
Right.
There's no one product for every service. So,
That's a good point.
We have all of these options for a reason. It's not just to drive ourselves crazy or to drive you crazy.
Right. Well,
but,
and we just added to our total safety solutions.
Exactly.
Right.
With another opportunity for a customer for us to deliver on something that no one else has.
That's very cool.
So they're coming to Ferno for it, just
love
like the Easy Glide PowerTraxx and now the Mondial. So we're excited.
Very nice. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Mr. Greg Fries.
Good afternoon.
From
Morning.
Morning. We're still morning.
I'm losing
Barely.
track of the time.
And Mr. David Koenig, how are you?
Good.
What did you think of going up the stairs?
At first, I got to be honest, I was a little bit worried because I didn't feel like I didn't hear the grunt of the getting ready to lift me. And then suddenly I was in the air, and it was a pretty good ride.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, they stopped with me on the stairs, and
it breaks.
He waved at me, and I was like, "Wow," So, yeah, it's great. We talk about safety so much. We talk about ambulance crashes, and that's a very hot topic for us. But one of the leading causes of injuries are back injuries, and that's where devices designed like this, like the Mondial and the PowerFlexx chair. That's just wow.
PowerTraxx, PowerFlexx cot.
Right,
we're close.
Right, PowerTraxx.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I have a hard time with all the X's, but I get it. Because I think that they're heading down the road with that safety solution. From an educator standpoint, how easy would it be to train on things like this? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit.
You sure are.
I'm
used to that, though.
So much fun.
I love his eyes. They got really big.
I think products that are intuitive to use and that the difference that it could make for the provider and just sort of like their overall wellness, but the ease of doing their job, people are receptive to that type of training. And, I think, the sort of risk of back injury is well known, as well as other injury, in the workplace. Many organizations will have people on light duty, and it's because of some sort of lifting-related acute or sort of chronic injury. So the importance is obvious. If it makes sense and it's intuitive and it's easy to use and replaces something else that's more difficult, I think that it's easy to train.
But I think we can have all the tools we want. Give you all the safety tools.
Right.
If we don't change our mindset
about
lifting and how we do stuff,
point.
about safety,
Good point.
as
Right.
us, the providers, no one else, we're going to keep getting injured. And you look at the smart the PowerTraxx. PowerTraxx.
The one that goes upstairs.
The one that goes upstairs.
Yeah.
The simple aspect, it's got the 4 wheels. It's got a caster. I still argue with people saying, we're not going to extremity lift this patient. Why are we doing an extremity lift on this patient? let's work smarter. Let's use a steady chair. Let's get them out of here appropriately.
Well, and something they didn't show you is they can actually lean that thing back a little bit and run it on carpet. And so you don't even have, so you don't have to be going upstairs. I thought that was pretty cool with just going through a house. If you have somebody that's a little heavy and you don't want to lift up an old, how many of you have taken a patient in a kitchen chair and actually lifted them, around their house?
Never.
Okay, yeah, I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
So
The thing I think that Kyle's kind of getting at is that if one person says, stop, let's talk about how we're going to do this. Is there a better way to do this? Because oftentimes emergent, like life-saving lifts are truly rare. Oftentimes we can pause for 30 seconds or a minute, or even like, let's go to the truck and get whatever it is that we need to do this better, bring it back, and then do the lift or the extrication.
Smart. Well, we're here at EMS today, and I wanted to pick your brain because we're here, and it's fun. Do I need to pick my nose? Is it bad? Is it bad? Okay, I'm fine. No, okay. God. So, it's like when someone, like, did you break out gum yesterday? I'm like, do I need gum? No, so what's your impressions of the show this year? What have you seen? What have you done? I know you were presented. Are you presenting or no?
No.
Okay. So
I mean, yesterday was like my class day. Today's going to be my product day. A couple classes tomorrow, and then.
What'd you see? What class did you go to?
Well, I went to Kelly's class on Blogging 101.
Kelly Grayson?
Yeah, Kelly Grayson.
You went to Blogging 101?
I know.
Why would you do that?
So that I could learn how to blog and not get fired for it.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was funny because like I walked in and he's like, well, what are you doing here? I said, well, so I don't get fired. And he's like, well, brother, I got some bad news for you because a lot of your stuff you're going to see up on the screen. So it's kind of like, all right, well.
Were you doing that just so you could feel like a little narcissistic and go, yeah, that's mine?
No, not really.
Okay.
No, I just wanted to hear what it was that he was going to say, and it was good. It was informative. I think he hit all the keynotes right, and that was good. Then after that, I went to Gary Ludwig's presentation on building culture change from the ground up in Memphis. Cool. I was thinking about Russell while I'm sitting there.
Yeah,
I'm like,
absolutely.
go Russell. And then after that, I was at Greg's lecture on cheating, or is it group problem solving? So
same thing.
Yeah,
really.
Pretty much.
Oh,
and
I'm cheating right now because I don't know what I can't remember his name. It's Greg.
And then of course the keynote. And I mean everybody, pretty much gathered in for the keynote and to see Johnny Gage up on screen. I expected him to walk up and pop my car, but he didn't.
That would have been awesome.
That would have forget it. It like
was
the whole
that
place
your
would
first
have
time seeing him speak?
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
Have you seen him speak before?
I've actually just seen him once, and it was a real small venue. I bet you there was maybe like 15 or 20 of us, but my hunch is it's probably a pretty similar message. I mean, he was great.
Well, I've heard several people that have seen him in different venues. They said this was his best one he's ever done.
Wow.
He was just up there and real and just talking about him and kind of his whole experience, and no PowerPoint, just him and a camera and a mic, and that was kind of cool.
Nice.
So to have kind of that feeling, kind of touching person that's an actor that kind of gets what we do, that's awesome. I mean, I love that.
And that's really what he was talking about was, there's all this technology, and, he brought up, the voice recognition, and it's like, oh, okay, so he has Siri now, at the core of it, while we have all this technology and we have all these tools, at the base of it, it's still about, human to human. It's about, not necessarily the tools we're using, it's about using our hearts. And, practicing with that. And I think that that's an important message. And that's something that often gets lost when we talk about, original courses and refreshers and continuing education, and you lose, the point where it's really about, the patient as a person and you as a person helping them, and compassion and caring.
You speak a lot about that, though, about being compassionate.
Sure.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I'd like to be nice more often, to you especially.
You make me laugh every time. Oh, gosh.
In one of the sessions yesterday, I asked the audience what's easiest to measure, the time that somebody spends training their cognitive knowledge, their psychomotor skills, or their affective behaviors. And my belief is the affective is the toughest to measure, and really to measure consistently in a way that actually reflects not just sort of your gut feeling about somebody, but some way to score it. And because the way the education delivery process is set up so often is it's really heavy on the cognitive and the psychomotor skill, and then we time it, and we lose, like Dave was saying, we might lose sight of like reminding people of like, well, why are you doing this? And if you still care about people, keep doing it. But if you reach a point where you don't care anymore, it's a good time to walk away.
Good point. Well,
or find something to recharge your batteries.
Right. Take a break.
Yeah.
Take a break, or
blog and get fired.
Or reconnect. Reconnect. I've talked about this many times that I was burning out on EMS and the way I was involved. And then a few years ago, started listening to the EMS Garage. And
you listen to Mike's show?
Well, early episodes I
did. You did. Okay, I don't blame you.
Now I don't know when it's on anymore.
Yeah, I don't either.
But that process, that led me to sort of reconnecting with like a broader EMS community that really recharged, and then gave me some new pathways to be involved.
That's actually kind of cool, and I think that that's one of the passions I love about coming to a show like this, is I get to see friends, old friends, older friends, and then 1 month. Okay, barely.
Days.
Okay, you're barely older than me. I love it. No, but really, that's part of it. And then finding new people out here that are like, oh, we have this in common, or we have that in common, and we just didn't know it. So
I think that's the biggest thing, because I talk to people that come to the conferences that I know from my area, and I say, what'd you do? Oh, I went to the course, and then I went to dinner. And I'm like, well, come out with us. Let me know where you are.
Cool.
I'll tell you where we are, because that's probably the best thing about this is getting to meet people, getting to network, on that. And that is probably one of the strongest things. Like, what are you doing in your system? What are you doing in your system? Wow, we have the same problems.
Right.
How can we come to a solution? Let's work together and do that. And I think it's the strongest part.
you should come to the show alone.
Yeah.
Because if you come in with a whole bunch of your people, you're going to stick with those
You're gonna stick with
people,
them.
and come alone, or come with somebody you don't like. That way you can kind of both go off. Sorry.
You asked Dave about his impression of the show. One of the things that
Oh, sorry.
I was struck
Your impression.
last night, walking around the exhibit hall, and then a little bit this morning, is I think there's a lot more people here.
There are a lot of people here.
I don't know if the aisles are narrower,
No.
but there's more people in the aisles.
They're up 20% this year.
Wow.
I can
I was talking
feel
to
it.
AJ. I was talking to
I can
AJ,
feel
and
it.
they're about 20% this year.
So
Wow, that's huge.
great to have that. And I had a session that I did yesterday. It was standing room only. There's only 8 seats in the room, but those extra
So
2
the
people.
9. Oh,
There's 10
okay.
people
All right.
there.
All
Yeah,
right.
they'd stand. I had probably close to 75 people in the session, and in the education track that my session was in, that was a pretty good turnout. I was real pleased with that.
So did you just stand up there and read slides? Is that how you present?
Yes, it is. He said, hi.
Hi.
So-
There's a lot of words on this slide. I will read
I'd
everyone.
like to tell you, in the morning session, John Dillon at C3 Softworks, he loaned me a set of these audience response pads. So we were able to do live polling. So I would ask the audience a question, and they would put in on their button their response. And then oftentimes I'd follow up, like, okay, somebody said your last CE experience was very good. Like, somebody tell us what made it good, or somebody else that your last experience was very poor. What was it? And so we could use that to help guide the discussion. And then there's also a few times where I was really surprised, like that question of what's easiest to measure. A few people said affective behavior is easiest to measure, and I was like, this is shocking. Maybe because I'm not very affective to begin with, but then that somebody would think it's easy to measure. And Scott Keir was one of the people that said that. So I said, well, I said, who said that? And Scott raised his hand, and then we had a conversation. He articulated why he chose that. I could see his point. And then we had some other people talk about why it's difficult for them to measure.
I don't think you can, but maybe you can put it.
How do I feel about you right now?
Like you feel about me every time, Greg Freeze. How about you? How have your impressions of the show gone? And are you presenting this time?
No, this is my vacation.
Really?
Yeah, I come down here to have fun and learn.
Nice.
You know, I don't have to do any prep. There's no stress. It's relaxing.
Cool.
I enjoy it. I'm impressed this year. So far, everything I've gone to. Usually, I'm burned out. It's like, I don't want to sit through another lecture. I don't know if they've got better presenter this year, or maybe I picked better topics, but I have been highly impressed, especially except for this one on cheating.
Oh, yeah. I was going to go to that one, and I thought you were going to learn how to cheat.
How to cheat.
Yeah.
We did. They actually give you ideas of what not to do, so that tells you how to do it.
Oh, okay.
I
like the rubber band idea.
I started the presentation with the summary. This is my second slide, was the summary slide. So I said to people, hey, if you want to leave, I've given you the summary points. You can skip straight to the test at this point if you want.
That's awesome. And did they?
And I also posted all the slides on slideshare.net.
So the slide design, by the way, is beautiful.
Thanks.
Nice.
Thanks.
Yes, I'm very proud.
I wonder who
Knows
did
it
that.
me.
Oh,
John
was he?
Dillon.
No,
helped me.
John.
I was
Okay.
on the same
Nice.
place.
Some of it was just
He
my
did.
work, but using what I've learned from Kyle and
Just
John.
kidding.
Wow.
But I said to people, here's the summary. Slides are on SlideShare. You can go, and they stayed. So
See, I wish I'd have been in there because I'd have gotten up and went. See
yeah,
I
because
think
you're so dramatic.
I am.
Yeah.
But just for the laugh, and then I would have sat down.
I would have barred the door.
I know you
not
would've.
let you back.
I wouldn't have walked out completely.
You pushed it. Fine, go.
I know. Okay. Anyway, yeah, you were saying. Sorry.
I think one of my favorite sessions, though, was the Eagles.
Oh, I heard. That was this morning.
They had 2 sessions.
Oh, really?
They had 2
Okay.
sessions. And for those of you who don't know about Eagles, it's basically a bunch of medical directors that get together down in Dallas to talk about what's going on in EMS. And it's a whole bunch of very short presentations down in
60 presentations in 2 days.
Yeah, and it's like 15-minute presentation. It's great for us that have ADD. It's like, I'm getting bored. Oh, next one. Oh, I'm getting bored. Oh, squirrel. Oh, next one. And that kept me into it. But they talk about the latest in research and what's out there, and they brought some of those here, and they did question and answer, with the audience, and I think it's one of the best ones I went to, and it was really neat to see what's coming and what's out there. And
I was talking to the medical director from Memphis last night. I can't think of his name right now, and he was at Eagles, and he said that they're coming out with a position paper about backboarding.
Excellent.
Yes.
Don't do it.
He basically said, well, most of us are in EMSP as well, so he goes, why not have 2 position papers written by the same people? I'm like, okay, I like that. So they're really coming out with the idea that we should really, really start backing away from the idea of spinal immobilization, because the injury happens at the time of the event.
Right.
What are we in that 1% of the time? Maybe, what are we saving for 99%?
It's really never about me. Over at emsblogs.com, we have a whole bunch of bloggers. I met a couple of them for the first time at this conference, which was great. Comatose, who's one of the bloggers on the network. He was actually in the class with Kelly, and I'd never met him before. And Kelly was like, "Oh, how many people are bloggers?" And he raised his hand, and he's like, "And who are you?" He said, he's like, "Oh, I read your stuff." And I was like, "Wait a second.
Wow.
You're part of the network." It's
nice.
Like later on, formally met him and all that. So yeah, I mean, his stuff is really great to read, and it was great to meet him here at EMS today. And that's really what these types of events are about. It's about seeing great stuff, learning great things, and being with great people.
Cool. Well, and where can people find you? Give us your email address at least.
Yeah, I'm David Koenig on Twitter.
Thank you. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
Sir, where can people find you?
So the EMS Educast podcast is a great place to connect. We've done 131 episodes now, and we're coming up on 250,000 downloads, which is pretty amazing.
That's crazy.
And,
that's crazy.
We're still having a lot of fun with that, Rob Terrio and Bill Toon and I. So look for us at EMS Educast, and then you could connect with me at everydayemstips.com.
Very cool. Thank you for coming on.
Glad
even
to
though
do it.
even though I get to tease you, but that's because I only know you'll give me the ribbing back, which I love.
Right.
I love it. Mr. Kyle David Bates.
Find me at KyleDavidBates.com, ImageMedic on Twitter, and my 2 projects, PDU, PEDI-U.com, which is our pediatric podcast.
I can't spell it that fast.
I know.
PEDI-U.
Dash U.
I would have to practice.
And our new, well, not our new, but our other project is firstfewmoments.com, which is our podcast, which we are actually publishing a textbook, hopefully to be out next year at this time.
And then you'll be rich and retire. And
that'd be nice.
I
know so many
Can I come to the
authors,
beach?
yeah.
Can I come to the beach with you?
The beach with me.
All right.
Excellent.
Well, thank you for joining us. I'm Chris Montero, the Geeky Medic, on all the websites. You can find more about us at emsgarage.com. We'd like to thank Ferno for hosting us at their great booth here at EMS today. And as you can hear behind us, there's a lot going on. So I'm Chris Montero. Thanks for joining us, and join us next time when we talk more about issues that concern you in EMS.